welcoming the new king to Northern Ireland, both sides vowing to try to live up to that shining example. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
At the Emmys on NBC, a big night for Ted Lasso.
We'll see you for season 3 at some point.
For season 3, says Jason Sudeikis, who won an Emmy for playing the title character. He says more is to come. The show won a Best Comedy Emmy, and co-star Brett Goldstein won Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy. Wall Street again, the Dow is down 840. This is CBS News.
If you're a business owner renting or leasing, you can save a ton of money and own a custom-designed building made by General Steel. Just call 877-25-STEEL and get a quote today.
Lockheed Martin understands what it takes to accomplish critical missions around the globe. They know it begins with long-standing partnerships rooted in expertise, interoperability, and trust. The most critical missions call for the F-35. It is essential to Allied air power. Across the growing community of F-35 nations, the need for alliance-based deterrence against
getting
evolving
ready
threats
for a war
is
if
stronger than
Lockheed
ever.
is advertising.
Lockheed Martin, your mission is ours.
There's still time for business owners to claim their federal aid under the Employee Retention Tax Credit Program. Cash refunds of up to $26,000 per employee are available for employers who continue to pay their employees during the COVID epidemic. You can claim the credit even if you received a PPP loan. The licensed CPAs and tax professionals at Ferguson, Timar & Associates have been serving business owners across the country for over 15 years. Our tax credit specialists are available now at 833-ERC-FILE. That's 833-ERC-FILE.
WPTV's First Alert Weather on WPSL is brought to you by Seacoast Air Conditioning. Family owned and operated on the Treasure Coast since 1982. Online at seacoastair.com. Now with a look at our forecast, here's meteorologist Katya Hall.
Your WPTV First Alert forecast. This afternoon, highs in the low to mid-90s, heat indices in the triple digits, with scattered showers and storms mainly pushing west by late afternoon. But some of those storms could push towards the coastline later this evening. Some of those storms that do develop could produce heavy rainfall, which could lead to flooding in some spots. Tonight, rain-free conditions with lows in the mid to upper 70s. Tomorrow, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, scattered afternoon to evening showers and storms possible. Same weather pattern over the next 7 days. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall for WPSL 1590, the top of the Treasure Coast.
Discover a luxurious lifestyle. Discover Harborplace in Port St. Lucie, offering the finest in independent and assisted living. Do you want to spend your golden years maintaining a home, cleaning a house? Not at Harborplace. The experienced staff at Harborplace takes care of everything so you can enjoy all that the community has to offer. Call 772-337-4330 for a tour of the gem of senior living on the Treasure Coast. Are you or your parents swimmers? Enjoy the beautiful outdoor pool. After your swim, enjoy fine dining with your friends. And don't forget to explore the Treasure Coast, from hiking trails to numerous golf courses. Active seniors enjoy Harborplace. You can join them too. 337-4330. Harborplace, and welcome home.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
It's 11:06 at WPSL 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast and webcaster to the world. Now let's head on to Harborplace with Jack the Bistro Waldrop. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Fine. How's the bistro cooking?
I'm not there this week, so I don't know how well it did yesterday.
Oh no! Yeah, I thought the backdrop was a little different there.
Yep, I am up in Ocala this week.
Ah, you're in the presidential suite. It looks like.
Yeah. But yes, our bistro is now reopened on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 11 to 1. We did a soft launch last week that went real well. Lots of people really enjoyed the food. I actually had a turkey brie and green apple panini. It was delicious.
Ooh.
So we're really looking forward to it continue to grow.
Yeah, boy, that sounds awesome. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So what's going on in luscious Ocala?
Just here to support the team. We do have another community here in Ocala, and I'm up here helping with them just for the week to balance some things out. And it's National Assisted Living Week, so I'm here to celebrate with them.
That's awesome. Okay, well, and anything planned back here at home for this special week?
We do. We have a family night coming up on Friday night, and then there's lots of activities going on all week for the assisted living. Everything kicked off on Sunday with National Grandparents Day, and it'll be all week long.
Hey, wait a minute. How did I miss Grandparents' Day?
I don't know.
Well, my grandkids are now 22 and 21. But hey, what can I say?
Right. They're probably having a good time. They just forgot all about it. It's okay. They'll just tell them you have to make up for it.
Yes, that's so true. Yeah. All right. Well, wonderful kickoff Grandparents' Day here this week at Harborplace. And yeah, so you've got a very special guest, I see.
We do. We have Miss Julie Renken that's here this week with us this week. Miss Julie, tell us about yourself. Where do you work? The things that you do. Kind of give us a little background about you.
Okay, so my name is Julie Renken. I work for Options Home Health. We're a Medicare reimbursed company. I also co-facilitate a support group with the Alzheimer's Association that's currently taking place right next door. I'm at Harborplace currently. And we just started that in person last month. And Jack was so kind to let it happen twice a month from 10:30 to 12 o'clock. It's the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. And so I had to step out a few minutes, and my co-facilitators in there right now. Also, I've been in the healthcare industry since, 1987, and I've been a nurse since 1989. So that I won't give my age.
No, you were 10 years old when you started nursing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So Julie, tell us a little bit about the support group that you do, what it's meant for, what it accomplishes, all of those sorts of things.
So the support group is for caregivers that are taking care of their loved ones. It may be a husband, a daughter, a friend, sister, and the challenges that they face. We started the support group. Well, I didn't start it, but the support group has been going on at Harborplace. I could be wrong on my years, probably about 17 years. And I have been doing it for 13 years. We were virtual during COVID, and now we have started being in person as of last month. We currently have 3 people next door. This group got as large as 35 people. I cannot tell you how wonderful the group is. I often tell this story about, me being in a restaurant, a local restaurant, and the whole support group, caregivers and their loved ones walked in, and they were there because they were friends, and they, normally they came to lunch after support group, but they had developed a friendship and a bond between them all because it was a safe space to bring their loved ones and be with one another.
Boy, that's phenomenal. Tell us, for you as someone who handles these seminars, just the wonderful nature of having real humans in the same room. I mean, it's kind of unique in a lot of areas of the United States.
I can't tell you how imperative it is to be in person. There's nothing like a hug or a tap on the shoulder to say it'll be okay. or just, camaraderie, exchanging phone numbers. It's different when you're virtual. Um, I liked the virtual. However, I'm a touchy kind of person, and I really feel like people tend to share more when they're in person, and they seem to be more relaxed when they're in person.
Yeah, and that's the whole intent of that caregiver support is to be able to get out, and to have that conversations. And a lot of times with somebody on their time, they get out that they don't have their loved one with them, and they need that support.
Yeah, you're right, Jack, and kudos to you too for getting this back live at Harbor Place.
Yeah, and we decided to do it 2 times a month again. We were, like she said, once a month, but the need is there. And so as long as there's a need, which will always be, I don't foresee there ever not being a need, we will continue to partner with Julie and the Alzheimer's Association, because we do find the necessity in these type of groups, because having this is in my entire career, this is the first time I've not had a memory care. So I understand it. And we do have residents that have dementia that are not to the point of needing a memory care, but it is hard. It is a daily task. It is a difficult task. You have your good days and then you have your bad days. And so having the ability to just get out and talk about it and talk to someone makes a difference. I know I've had an open door policy in my communities as long as I've been doing this, and my memory care staff would just come over and vent, because I would rather them come vent to me and cry on my shoulder than having to just sit in a room and be frustrated and not have that ability. So I understand where they're coming from. I have an aunt who is 96. Our family is currently dealing with the same problem. She has Alzheimer's. She fell and broke her leg, had to have surgery. It was just a big ordeal. And so my heart goes out to caregivers that do take care of loved ones with dementia. So I know that, like I said, we're meeting twice a week, Julie. So tell us a little bit about the home health that you do.
So, I'm a nurse by trade, and I've got approached when I was working on the floor to go into Medicare home health. I didn't even know what, at the time when I was a nurse, you didn't really need to know about what does Medicare home health do. So but I kind of knew because I did some per diem visits for Shan's home health when I lived in Gainesville, Florida. So I found that I really enjoyed it. So what we do is we provide services in the home. Oftentimes people come from the doctor's office or the hospital or communities like yours, Jack, where this is their residence and they need assistance, whether it's, a nurse checking their blood pressure, educating them on their new hypertensive medication, or they might be discharged from the hospital with pneumonia, or they might have simply a wound where they may have fallen and need attention to that, or they might need some physical therapy or occupational therapy, um, or sometimes even behavioral health, which is the old what we call psych nursing, sometimes for depression, the loss of a loved one or other family members or their friends as they age. Medicare and other Advantage plans, not all, but most of the Advantage plans do pay for home health in the home, whether it's at a community like yours or in the home setting. The goal is to keep patients from returning to the hospital or going to the hospital. So we're in there to educate them, help them be more independent, and then step back out into their community and or home.
I know the thing that is kind of key for all of us older folks is taking of medicines regularly. And, and every once in a while I might forget. And that could become a major issue with someone.
It is, and it's a huge issue in the home. oftentimes people with, they might have a little bit of dementia, or they might even just have dementia from an illness, where they forget to take their medicine, or they don't understand their medicine and they take multiple medications at a time. And so our goal is to educate them and get them, taking their medications correctly and understanding what are they taking them for, making sure they're not on two of the same type of medicines. Um, Oftentimes people will come from up north and they'll be taking a medication from the doctor up north, but down here they might be taking a different brand but the same medication, and no one can figure out what's going on. And then the lovely home health nurse walks in and sees what's happening, and we're the eyes and ears for the physician.
Sure. And that's a key point too, that, I mean, even with our independent living, we don't offer care in the independent living side, but the ability to refer and give the option for some from the home health side to help them and to manage medications, do some small private aid jobs, things of that nature, has been fantastic as well, because we're able to keep people in independent living a little bit longer before they transition to assisted. And so we have those partnerships, and we're building those partnerships to continue that growth as the independent livings in the area are getting more and more full. We're seeing an uptake in independent livings. There for a while, no one wanted to move out of their house. And then COVID happened and no one wants to cook anymore.
That's the
And
truth.
so we are seeing more uptake in independent living growth, and as well. And so being able to offer those partnerships is going to be huge to independent living residents. And some independents already do it. You do have some of your independent ALF communities where they have them all in the same option, the same building, so they can offer those a la carte type things. We are getting ready to partner with a couple different agencies that to offer the same things in ours. So I'm excited to see the change in what the independent living looks like over the next few years.
Yeah, it is really their home. And it's so nice to be the eyes and ears in their home, because I can tell you, when I'm an account manager now, but I can tell you as a nurse being in their home, and when you teach on a disease process and or their medication and they get it, it's the most rewarding feeling ever. And that's why I can, just sell this home health as a whole, because it's something to me that's so valuable.
Sure, very much so. And if I remember correctly, you and our guest from last week or last time, week before last, you two started the not area aging, the
Treasure Coast Coalition on Aging.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about that.
So Rebecca Jacques came to me and said, I have this idea. I want to start this Treasure Coast Coalition on Aging to help educate community members in the community about different health issues, legal issues, the SHINE program, 211. Thursday, we're going to have an elder law attorney speak. So we decided to do this and also help our community. We had a Nurses a Week event. Back in December, we had a holiday gathering, and the money that we raised from that, we went and bought some skilled nursing facility residents some gifts. We asked some skilled nursing facilities in the area to point out some people that didn't have any family or not going to get a holiday gift. And they wrote down their wish list. And I'll tell you, that was like the greatest night, just going out, just, purchasing the little, like just a gown. It was so important to me. Do they like flowers? Do they like solid colors? And when I would get a really, something really nice in a deal, I was so excited because I could buy more. But that it's so rewarding. And Rebecca and I are, and there's a few others. We have two other nurses. We're all nurses. We have one that's a case manager. Her name is Winnie at one of the local hospitals. And we have another one named Brandy, who works for Mobile Medical. So the four of us, are a really good team. We have 2 RNs, 2 LPNs, and we just want to educate the community and do great things.
Sounds like you're already off to a great start. How long has it been? Have y'all been in existence?
We started this process. We started talking about it in July, had our first event in December, and are currently in process of our 501(c). We're waiting on that.
Way to go. Yeah, you're just a year in, and it's
Yeah.
you're already making huge dents, which is amazing. Very
It's
exciting.
a lot of work, but so rewarding.
Yeah. So, and I know Greg, we talked about this a little bit earlier. We'll go ahead and put another pitch in there for our bistro that has reopened to the public. So Harborplace supports St. Lucie. It's called Bistro 3700. Make sure you go by and check it out. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 11 to 1. It does only take credit cards at this time. We're not doing cash, but the menu is fantastic. Just go by and check it out. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We do have some events coming up because we're about halfway through the show, so we'll talk about those a little bit. September 22nd is our next Super Bingo. It's our awesome autumn bingo from 1:30 to 3. And this one, we're going to do things a little bit different. So it is $1 to play. If you bring a canned good, is it this one we're doing it? Maybe, no, that's the one in November. Just kidding. Go ahead and plan it. But the one in November, when you bring a canned good, you get an extra card. Not this one, though. That's going to be the one in November. We're planning ahead. But we do have our Super Bingo that is coming up September 22nd, 1:30 to 3. Great prizes. We'll have light refreshments. Seating is limited, so make sure you call in advance to reserve your spot. And that's just call us at 772-337-4330. Again, that's our awesome autumn open house bingo, 772-337-4330. And then in October, we are having the Yellow Dot program. I don't know if everybody is familiar with that. Several years ago, they came out with the Vial of Life that went in your freezer. It was like a medicine bottle, and you would put all of your pertinent information in there. Your drug allergies, the medications you take, things like that, stayed in your freezer. And that gave everybody that came in, say EMS came in, they could look at your refrigerator, get that information, and it would all be there and up to date. Well, they have come out with the Yellow Dot program, and it's for your car, believe it or not. So it's the same type premise, but it's for your car. So we're going to have the St. Lucie County Fire District Public Information Officer. Her name is Brenda Stokes, and she'll educate us on the Yellow Dot program. We only have space for 30, so we do ask for everyone to start RSVPing as quickly as possible, and you'll get the Yellow Dot program, the medical information envelope, all of that kind of stuff. Will be available during that program. Again, it's the Yellow Dot program. It's so if you were in a car wreck, if you were to unfortunately pass out while you were driving, they would know to look in. It goes in your glove compartment, and it would have all of your pertinent information in there. So it's a really good program. We're looking forward to seeing how that goes and learning more about it. And again, that's coming up in October. So those are 2 big events that we have coming up here soon. And we hope everybody is going to start to get excited about those. We know everybody loves bingo. I'm not too worried about that one. Everybody will be there for our bingo on September 22nd. But that Yellow Dot program is going to be really fantastic. Like I said, we only have spots for 30 people. So we do ask that you RSVP for that as quickly as possible.
Boy, the Yellow Dot thing sounds amazing. And keep in mind, you just stick that in your glove box with your insurance and with your registration, and it's right there for the EMS folks. That's amazing.
It is. It's a great program. We're excited, like I said, excited to share it with everybody. And it's been in existence, but not a lot of people really know what it is. So we're excited to join with the St. Lucie Fire Department and really get that out there to everybody.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And what is the date on that one again?
October 20th from 1:30 to 2:30. So it's only about an hour. And like I said, we need to reserve your spot because we only have spots for 30. And again, October 20th from 1:30 to 2:30. So you got a little over a month to plan for it. Go ahead and get it on your calendar, call our front desk and reserve your spot. That way we can really make sure that everybody is taken care of.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So Julie, we're about halfway through, so I'm going to get you to do your introduction again, kind of tell everybody. I know it's kind of redundant, but we kind of that way if anybody joined in after we got started, we'd like to give everybody an idea of who's on with us today.
Okay, thank you, Jack. So I'm Julie Renken with Options Home Health. I've been up with Options Home Health for about 5 years. I've been in the home health industry for over 27 years. I've been in the, we provide Medicare services for Medicare patients and or recipients. And we provide skilled care in the home. What does that mean? Skilled care means either a nurse or physical therapist, occupational therapist, or behavioral health RN who's certified in that area. And also, I don't know if I said occupational therapy, but we do provide these services under the Medicare benefit, and a physician has to write an order for home health care. There has to be what we consider a need in the Medicare industry to receive those services. There are other home health companies in the area that provide what we call custodial care. That is not something that Medicare covers at this time.
Well, and it's interesting you have the occupational therapy as well. Is it I've noticed every once in a while, and as I've just turned 77, the balance is always, not always a problem, but it's something to really look at, because every once in a while, it goes a little haywire, and that's something, I've got to keep my eyes on.
Yeah, don't stand up too fast.
Well,
yeah, that's true.
People underestimate occupational therapy, because what happens with occupational therapy is the occupational therapist will help with those activities of daily living that we call in the healthcare world the ADLs. So let's say you were having a balance issue, Greg. We would set up, maybe teach you how to set up your bathroom before you get in the shower. Point out some safety features, i.e. grab bars, maybe a slip mat that you might need in your bathroom, or possibly even a shower chair or shower bench. And they work with people to try to get them more independent. Used to be with Medicare, the home health, we would have home health aides come in and bathe the patient forever and get, and they were in there for like an hour a day, and boom, they left. Now, Medicare is running out of money, as the whole, government industry is. And they're saying, we have to make people independent. And that's the whole goal of home health care, is to help people to learn to be more independent. And that's the beauty of my job. And that's what I love most about it. I mean, sometimes, I'm sorry.
Question for you. Do you find a lot of hospital nurses, if you will, looking to your career as a possible option of moving from the hospital setting to the home setting?
Yes, more and more, because there's so many, it's hard. I'm one of those people. Bedside nursing isn't what it used to be. It's very difficult. There's a lot of charting and documentation that has to be done. And so it's hard to provide that bedside care that you once were able to do in the hospital. So a lot of hospital nurses are coming to our industry because they find it, sometimes it's not relaxing. You think home health visiting, nursing is great. You have people that code at home and all kinds of problems that arise, but it's a different kind of stress. And when you see that patient get better, or you're educating them on a disease process that they now understood, that they spent 15 minutes with the doctor and just left and can't remember what they talked about, when you're in the home and you have collaborative information and you're educating the patient, um, it's the most wonderful and rewarding career.
Sure. And we are seeing a lot of nurses that are leaving the hospital setting. And so that's the reason why the nurses that are around are doing travel nursing, because the nursing shortage that's in the hospital setting, in the long-term care setting, it's been more and more difficult to find nurses, and quality nurses. Just to be honest, finding the quality nurses is difficult as well, because we're turning and burning them right out of school, and
Exactly. I
so
read that 50% of nurses are thinking about getting out of the industry on a nursing website that I belong to. And I thought, wow, that's really sad. And the average age currently for a nurse in home health care is 53 years old. So I meet that criteria. But it's
I was
just,
gonna say you're nowhere close to that.
no, that's my age. So I thought that would, so of course that statistics stayed with me, but isn't that interesting?
50%. Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
that's a shocking number, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're finding more and more nurses that are going on to get their nurse practitioner as well, because there's that need. I can't say anything. I'm in the process of getting my doctorate as well. It's just one of those, we grew up in a time period where education was important. And so people are continuing to be educated and moving on in that process. So it's kind of a catch-22 with nurses. You have good quality nurse, and that good quality nurse eventually moves on to become a nurse practitioner, or you have someone right out of school that's very green. And it's not to say that they're not a good nurse, but there's a difference in someone that's been in the industry for quite a few years versus someone that's brand new out of school. And so it's been tough.
Okay, Julie, I mean, for someone who is thinking of maybe becoming a nurse practitioner, what are you looking at educational wise to continue that education?
So it used to be that you had to have a master's degree, I mean, just a master's degree, which you still can, to become a nurse practitioner, to do that. And now they were gonna, I want to say it was like 2000, don't quote me because I'm not an educator by any means. I want to say it was 2014, they were going to make everybody get their doctorate in nursing. And there's a lot of nurse practitioners that do have their doctorate in nursing and they're DNPs. But now it's, you don't have to do that. They put a stop on that. So you can just have, your master's, and you go through a special program called the, nurse practitioner program.
Yeah, well, Jack is.
We have, and we actually have, I'm sorry, we actually have had applicants and that have applied to us that no longer want to work as a nurse practitioner and want to come to the home health industry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
Quite a few lately.
coming back the other way then, huh?
Yeah, because they like it. They like to see, the change. And how great is that, having somebody who either has their nurse practitioner license coming to see you that's working as an RN? I mean, how wonderful is that?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would rather have that than anybody else, to be honest, because they have that ability to diagnose and to train and all of that. So you're definitely killing two birds with one stone there.
Well, I would think the home health nurse would be there to see more progress than, say, a hospital nurse who's only going to see somebody for 2 days or something like that max.
Right.
Correct. And that's the nice thing about it. And when you're in somebody's home, it's completely different. What you think you know about that person, and then you go to their home, it's so different. And, getting out that, I call it the dreaded brown bag, I used to call it, when they pull it out and with the medication of 20 pills that you didn't know they were taking, or they just kind of putting it on the back burner just in case. It's so rewarding.
Yeah, and you get to, like you said, you're seeing the full picture.
Mhm.
someone goes into the hospital, especially an elderly person that's been taking care of their own stuff, there's that chance of them not remembering what medication they're actually on. And then their children come in to say, hey, you know, mom's taking this and this and this. And mom says, no, I'm not taking this, this, and this. So going into the home, you actually get to see a full picture because everything is right there.
And the dynamics of a family are there. You see it makes a difference, just like you do, Jack, here. You understand the person a lot better. And sometimes you'll hear a floor nurse say, oh, that patient's just confused. When that patient wasn't confused yesterday. People don't develop dementia overnight. Usually there's a disease process or something that is, causing that. And so they think, oh, this, little old lady lived at home. I can't believe it. And they find out, well, the lady might have been septic, or her thyroid might be off, or her medications might be mixed up. And that's why she's confused.
Yeah, I've been doing this for so long now. I'm not a nurse. I don't claim to be a nurse. Don't play with me,
But soon to have your PhD, which is great.
But I do know that from doing this for so long, the minute someone has altered mental status, they start being a little bit more aggressive. The first thing you do is you check for a UTI. It's just the first thing that you do in the industry. And it's funny how I've gone to nurses who do not know that because they've not been in the industry or been in the home as a home health nurse. They're seeing patients in the hospital setting and they don't see it because usually by the time they get to them, they have already been diagnosed. They know they have it and there's no one looking for those signs. So it's very interesting to see and to hear how all that goes. We were actually just talking about that this morning here in Orlando. That is the first thing I'm going to ask you when you come to me and say, well, this person's acting really strange today. Okay, what's strange about it? Da, 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 da. Well, have you pulled a UA? It's the first thing I'm going to ask, and it's so loved ones don't know that. They don't know to look for those types of things. So it's a good thing to have the home health or being in a setting where someone knows those and they're looking for those as well.
So what is a UTI?
That is a urinary tract infection. I was going to say that because I was like, because sometimes us in healthcare, we use these acronyms. Yeah. And I was thinking we probably should explain that. But it's an infection, a urinary infection. And it's quite common in the elderly because some, not to be graphic, some people wear diapers or depends, and that's just a breeding ground for bacteria. Or they might just be sick and get a little septic. But yeah, me as a nurse, sometimes even in support group, I've said with people who have dementia, they may even become more aggressive or more confused. The first thing I always say is you need to get an order for, a UA because you need to check to see if they have an infection. So I'm glad, Jack, because there's not too many EDs out there that would have that wherewithal to think about that. And kudos to you.
Thank you. It's from years of having memory care room apartments. I mean, it really is, and some people, because it's when you hear urinary tract infection, you automatically think female. Because in younger ages, that is primarily where you find a urinary tract infection. But when you become an elderly, it doesn't matter, male, female, whoever, the urinary tract infection can cause havoc on a person's brain, which sounds crazy, but it does. It just changes their demeanor. It changes their outlook. All kinds of stuff can happen just from having a urinary tract infection.
Yeah. And it's so basic, right?
Yeah. Looking at Greg's face, he's so.
I said when they're doing CAT, yeah, I always say, I said, when they're always doing CAT scans or all these tests, and the first thing you want to do is this, $25 urinalysis and see what's going on.
It is. It's the truth. So if you're listening out there, your loved one is out of the norm and you think something's going on, take them to the doctor and have a urinalysis. Don't let them do all kinds of crazy stuff. Start with that, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, it's really starting with a basic, I guess. But but haven't we, in a way, fallen in love with all the technology, whether it's MRIs,
Testing.
X-rays,
Yeah.
you name it, CAT scans, that everybody seems to kind of gravitate to that.
They do.
Right.
You're right.
Mhm.
Completely. And they're expensive.
Mhm.
Let's just be honest. They're expensive. I don't care if you have insurance or not. They're expensive. So start with the easy stuff. So Julie, tell us, and we've talked about it already. We kind of went down the home health track for a little while here, but tell us a little bit about your support group, what it is, what you do, who all's involved, all of those sorts of things.
So currently with the support group that we're doing here at Harborplace, it is the second and fourth Tuesday of the month from 10:30 to 12. Harborplace was gracious enough to let us come back in. We were here pre-COVID. It was an early stage group at that time. Now it's a caregiver support group, which I think is better because it encompasses everybody. And it's hard when it's just early stage because people kind of graduate as their disease process moves on. But today we had 3 people, and it was very nice. And they support each other, they learn from each other, they develop friendships. I educate them on coping techniques, things not to say, things to do. I have what we call the 10 absolutes in that the Alzheimer's Association states, saying what to say, not to say to a person with Alzheimer's. For example, never to argue, instead agree, never reason, instead divert, never shame, distract, never lecture, reassure, never say remember, instead reminisce, never say I told you, instead repeat, never say you can't, instead do what they can, and never command or demand, ask or model. Never concede and encourage and praise, and never force, instead reinforce. And I know all those sound so basic, but I always tell those people to put that on your refrigerator. I have a disabled sister that I have to use these 10 absolutes with, because just because people look normal, sometimes their brain isn't working properly. So let's just, I've had people in the previous support group where the husband and wife come, and the person you think had Alzheimer's is going to have Alzheimer's or dementia. Is not the person at all. You cannot tell by looking at a person if they have dementia. And the support group is so wonderful and so valuable to keep people sane and know that they're not alone.
Well, and it's very easy for someone, say a caregiver, to say, well, don't you remember that? I mean, that almost seems very basic, but you're correct. That's the last thing you want to do.
Right, Greg. If your brain is not working properly, how humiliating that is to you, for me to say that to you. If you don't have the wherewithal to remember, how can you, remember that I told you something 5 minutes ago?
Yep. And I used to tell staff, because they would get so upset. Well, I don't want to lie to them. I'm not. I said, I understand that. Little white lies in memory care doesn't hurt anybody, because there are times where you have to kind of flub the truth and work your way around it. Sometimes just to balance out the situation, to calm, relax, and then you can always go back to it later on. But just having those, like you said, the absolutes makes a huge difference. I mean, it truly does. And we're so quick, like you said, Greg, to say, well, don't you remember? It's just hard. And you yourself have to remember, don't do that,
My old neighbor was a nun before she was married, and her husband developed Alzheimer's. She ended up coming to the support group, and my gosh, she still helps the Alzheimer's Association. And Peter has since passed. She wouldn't mind me saying his name. And she used to say it's the world's best con job, and with living in the Alzheimer's world.
It is.
Now that's coming from a former nun, but it
I never thought
is.
about it that way, but that is the truth. It's truth.
It does, you don't want to remind them that their mom died 25 times all throughout the day and have them have a breakdown. Mom isn't here. That's the truth, right? Mom's not here right now. She's busy.
Yep.
She might be busy with God,
Right.
so there's no need to say that. I hear it all the time. I don't want to lie to my mom. I don't want to lie to my husband. Well, tell them the truth and get them even more upset on something that they can't even grasp their mind around.
Right. Because 5 minutes from now, they're going to forget and they're going to do the same thing all over again. And they're going to get upset again. And you have to go through the same process. And that tears you down as the caregiver. And you have to also remember that you're the caregiver. What happens if you collapse and you can't do something? That's the difficult part, because you have to step back and you have to take care of yourself as the caregiver as well. Otherwise, it's going to defeat the purpose of trying to keep them at home or trying to do these things, because you're not going to be there to help them either. And that's the same thing with elderly couples. We see that a lot in assisted living, where we move a couple in and we're actually moving them in because the caregiver has physically declined from all of the care that they're giving to their loved one. And so I always say, if you have a loved one that's on borderline of needing some care, move them in before mom or dad, whoever, declines as well. Because a lot of times that caregiver ends up passing first because of all the care that they've given to somebody else.
And I just want to say real quick, they do call it the ambiguous loss, because every day you're losing just a little piece of them. And so imagine, it's not like a sudden loss. Every day you're just losing a little something more with your loved one. And it's very hard. And, the other thing I was going to say, they're not giving you a hard time. They're having a hard time. It's not that they set out the day and say, I think I'm going to give Jack a hard time today.
Right.
I'm going to go down there and say something really crazy.
I swear I have some IL residents that do wake up that way.
You might.
Right. No, I love my IL. And
I will say really, really quick, Jack, I had family that lived here before you lived here, and you guys do a phenomenal job. She was one of those who went from independent to assisted to actually to life care. So she made the whole transition, and this place, Harborplace, always will have a special meaning to me. It's homey. They do a good job here, and people don't get lost in the crowd.
And isn't it beautiful since our renovation?
And I do love your bistro. I remember before COVID and you guys had it open, I was a frequenter of the bistro.
Well, you need to come back and become a frequenter again. It has some good stuff. Like I said, that's a good segue into that as well. We have quinoa bowls. I think that's how you say that word. I don't eat it, so I don't know how to say it very well. Salads, hot sandwiches, cold sandwiches. We do have sides of pasta salad and chips. Everything is available. It's reasonably priced. Really good food. I mean, it's just, I can't get over the options that Chef Sylvia has come up with, because they are delicious. We have a Cuban that's on our menu every Monday, Wednesday, Friday in there. And it's just, if you have not been to eat at Bistro 3700 or at Harborplace for that matter, please go by and check it out, because the food, I'm not just saying that because I'm the executive director. I'm saying that because the food is actually good. And we pride ourselves upon that. We pride ourselves upon our home-like atmosphere. We do have that. And that is one of the best things. We have tenured employees. My assistant executive director has been there for 17 years. Pat, my sales director, has been there for 13 years. It's just
and Alita and Dietary, I just saw her recently, and I think she said 15 or 17 years.
Yeah. And Alita is one of that. She's now the independent living dining room supervisor. And the residents love her. She's fun.
Me too. And Pat. Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
we're very privileged. I've only been there going on 3 years, but I'm very privileged with a staff that really cares about the residents. They're there. They're not there to accept a paycheck. They're there to help someone that lives in their homes, and they're able to give those assistance in daily living. And we're just really proud to say that. We had some staffing issues. We are back being completely fully staffed, even to the point where we're getting back to doing 24-hour nursing as well. Because there was such a nursing shortage, we had stopped it on the assisted living side for a time being, but we are getting back to that and hiring those 24-hour nurses. So I'm really loving the growth that we have had over the past few years. With assisted living, we're less than 10 rooms from being completely occupied, which is fantastic. Even on the independent living side, where we traditionally see a smaller resident population, because it's a 55 and older, but it's not a patio home, it's not a home, it's just an apartment. So we do tend to see a smaller number there, but it has grown exponentially in the past year. And so we're seeing, I think right now I have 80 apartments that are full. And so it really is great to see all the growth that's happening. If you want to come by and check us out, please give us a call for 772-337-4330. That's the number to our building itself. You can ask for Pat. She's our sales director. Anita is our assistant executive director. Either one of those. You can ask for me, but I travel every couple of weeks, so I'll be happy to tour you if I'm in town. But your biggest bet is to call and ask for Pat, and she can arrange to meet and greet you. You can come in and have lunch on us. We do those type of tours as well. We come in the evenings. We have weekend tours. Just come by and check us out because it's a resort style setting. Beautiful palm trees everywhere. We have a pool, shuffleboards, hot tub. We have a meeting space. If you are a business that does meetings during the day, we do rent out that space for different organizations. And then we will do an evening event for businesses as well. Just need to call. You can talk to yourself, Sylvia, about that. She can set you up with a catering menu or just the rental space. We do that as well. So we have a lot going on at Harborplace. We have on September 22nd, we have our next Super Bingo. I know that's everybody's favorite thing. Give us a call to reserve for that one, 772-337-4330. Again, that is our Super Bingo. It's our awesome autumn bingo. We'll have lots of prizes. It's $1 a card, $1 a game per card. So if you want to play all 5 games, one card, it's $5. You can do up to 3 cards, and we will continue to do that. We do it once a quarter. It's been a big hit all year long, so let's continue to have that growth there as well. And then again, coming up in October, this is a big one. We're having our Yellow Dot program. If you don't know anything about the Yellow Dot program, please come. We have 30 spots available for it. It talks about all of your medical information, personal information that goes in your glove compartment of your car. You have the dot on the car. That way, when EMS or the police or fire department gets to your vehicle, they're able to see that and see that your medical information is on the inside, so they can take care of you if you are not conscious. So it's a great program. Like I said, we used to produce the vial that went into your freezer. So it's the same type of information, same type of program, just for the car as opposed to your home. So we're really looking forward to giving that seminar out, and we want to continue to do those because if you hear more and more on the radio how an elderly person, there was a wreck and they were unconscious at the scene, but they didn't know any information about them. So this is going to be the ability to have that information. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then we have started having our open house brunches again. It's the last Saturday of every month. We'll have an open house where you can come in and tour. You can have brunch on us. You do have to call and let us know that you're coming, that you're going to tour and eat lunch. And that'll be on us. And like I said, it's in our independent living is where the brunch is located, but we tour on both sides of the campus. And as Julie said, we are a continuing care campus. So we have independent living, assisted living, and then our sister company, Life Care Center of Port St. Lucie, is on the same property. It's a little confusing when you come in the property, go straight ahead to get to us. Your immediate left goes into life care. It is, like I said, it is a little confusing, but go straight ahead. You'll see the 2-3-story buildings. That is Harborplace. And our independent living sits on the left side, and Harborplace assisted living is on the right. Like I said, we're running out of space. If you're looking for assisted living, you need to come in and give a tour. And see how things are. We are newly renovated, new carpets, new paint, new apartments with granite countertops. We've been around for 22 years. It's hard to believe, but Harborplace itself, we are one of the only still standing large campuses independently owned and operated in Port St. Lucie. We're the original owner. We built the building. We've managed the building. Mr. Preston does a fantastic job with his company, and that leaves us where we are 22 years later. Still being independent, never sold out. Just did the renovation just because it was time to do a renovation, and it has turned out beautiful. So please come in and check us out, because like our show says, you're never alone. That's what we're there for. We're there to help you with your daily acts of life, and we are very excited to have you come visit.
Well, and I know that back room for civic groups too is very, very nice, and it's convenient because you've got entrance right there.
We do. We have a back entrance. We do have that available if you didn't want to park in the front and walk all the way through. There is a back entrance. There, like I said, there is a culinary portion to it. If you needed some type of coffees and drinks, and even if it was just cookies, we do offer those as a catering menu. So typically, if you use the catering menu, depending on your size, we don't charge you to rent the space. If you just need the space itself, there typically is a charge. Sometimes we'll join with you and do a marketing event, as we have done with Julie, when we host different things. But if you're a civic group, just get with us. We can cut you a really good deal on having that space. And then also, like I said, if you needed catering, we have that available.
That sounds great. And boy, you've got so much going on there, Jack.
We are starting to get busier and busier. Yeah. Pre-COVID, we were extremely busy, and I feel like we have surpassed that, getting back to the way things used to be. So we're very excited to see that coming.
That sounds great. And boy, I'll tell you, it's just simply amazing to see the growth continuing at Harborplace. You have a safe travels, my friend. We'll see you next week. And Julie, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You've been listening to Never Alone from Harborplace, right here on WPSL, Port St. Lucie. Talking the Treasure Coast, webcaster to the world, now heard in 56 countries.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Steve Kathan. With inflation at its worst in decades, so many people are getting squeezed.
Chicken and pork, it has seemed